Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. Today, we're going to do something fun as I prep for tomorrow, which is Free Comic Book Day / Star Wars Day. Yes, those both happen on the same day, Saturday, tomorrow. I'm doing an appearance at my local comic book store, which is Surprise Comics, Surprise, Arizona area. Or if you want to travel out there and meet me, talk to me, or just hang out with me while I do some sketches and things. But one of the things I'm going to do, because it is also Star Wars Day, is I'm making some new Star Wars wax packs that I kind of want to share with you. I've been working on these for a little bit, kind of in secrecy, but I'm unveiling them now, and just I want to let you guys in on kind of what I'm doing, because it's some fun fan art stuff that I'm doing. So let's see. I just want to check couple of things. Hopefully the audio is working. I've got this weird thing where I'm switching back and forth. It's a different audio setup when I do Artcasters, when I do this. So hopefully everything's working correctly. Once we get some people coming in on the stream, just let me know if that's all working. But before we get to that, one of the things that I'm trying to do here on the channel is build a community of people who are doing similar things, who are making projects. So hopefully I can inspire you guys to make projects such as the kind of thing right here, what I'm working on. And what's really cool is I'm finally getting some people reaching out to me that are doing some of those things. Now, some of those people are sharing things, or some of the people are just kind of still working on different projects. But I did have one patron rather. Hold on just a second. We got some people in the chat. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. So we have people in the chat. Just let me know if the sound is working properly. And I don't want to give too much away as far as the identity, because the person that I'm talking to wanted me to keep it a secret. Or remain anonymous, but I've got I have some patrons and some fans that are working on some cool projects. One of them I want to share with you. Awesome. And hold on, let me switch back over here a second. So let's see. Hold on. Okay. So like I said, I've got an awesome patron that's doing some cool stuff, inspired by, if you saw the last couple videos I did, one was a live stream and one was the project video for the Alien Underoos. The whole concept being that I'm making Underoos based on a rated R movie, because there were actually alien toys and games and things like that for kids, which seems bizarre, but it was a thing. And so this patron was inspired to do their own artwork based on The Simpsons, based on a product you probably all remember, are those candy cigarettes. It just seems so bizarre that those were marketed to kids. So he created 3 different designs. I'll bring them up. And he was kind enough to let me share those with all of you. So there's a link in the description where you can download those. And I may send them out. I may make a newsletter, because one of the things, if you are creating these projects, you don't have to remain anonymous. If you want me to tell who you are, leave a link or whatever to where that people can find you, I think that would be awesome. I really do want to build a community of makers, specifically around the concept of nostalgia and things like that. So I'm going to pull up some of these. The first one is Patty and Selma. Can you guys see that? Oh yeah, I think you guys can see that. Hold on. So Patty and Selma, the candy sticks, the cigarettes. We've got, of course, Krusty with the candy cigars, and can't forget about Otto with the candy cannabis. So that is it's totally in line with what I was talking about as far as what I was doing with the alien thing. So so thank you. I appreciate that. And again, if you guys are creating projects, I'd be more than happy to let everyone know. And the person who created those, I know that you're watching. If in the future you want me to give you a shout out or anything, I'd love to do that. So, or remain anonymous, whatever. But thank you again. And that's just one step to building this community. And I've got some other, I've had a lot of people reach out to me that are making wax packs and things. So if you're making your own wax packs, like we're doing today. And you can take inspiration from what I'm doing in this video. You can kind of watch. I try to share the process and some of the tools and things I do, so you can kind of do your own. So if you do that, let me know, share it. And I'd like to even do a dedicated video. I might share some of these to some of those files to my patrons. Again, on a newsletter or whatever. And if you want me to share those, I can, or I can send them to you, whatever the case is, if you're creating cool stuff. So keep creating cool stuff. But let's get into what I'm doing right now. I thought the camera was on me, but I guess it's on the table. So I just, first of all, let's welcome all the people in the chat.
Welcome, true believers and newcomers alike.
And we'll get started. So what I'm doing, as I mentioned, is I'm creating. Basically, I'm doing a lot of wax pack trading cards of things that were never created, but a couple of the ones that I'm going to show you are reproductions of cards that existed back in the 70s or whatever, when Star Wars first came out, late 70s, but they weren't kind of packaged like in wax packs and everything the way that I'm doing. So I'm going to show you that. And some are just reimaginings of what could have been. So I'm going to share a little bit of what I'm doing here. So let me switch over here. So first off, I want to show you this book. This is a book of all photos of all the trading cards from Topps, all the Star Wars cards. So you've got the stickers. This is just a really cool book. Of course, the first series, the blue series, and then it would continue on with the red series and the yellow series. And of course, we get into, let's see where we are, the green series. Now, by the time they got around to the green series, they pretty much used almost every shot you can think of from Star Wars. So when the fifth series came around, let's see if we can get to it. The orange series, the packaging kind of looked like this. They kind of run out of most of the shots from Star Wars. So what they started to do, as you can see here, is do some behind the scenes footage. And I can see in the chat we're getting some love to some of those cool designs that were created by the anonymous patrons. So, but here we go. So as you can see, let's see, I guess we got a few shots here, but then we do get into. Now, I guess there's more than I thought as far as scenes from the movie. So they did get a few of those scenes, but here we go. Here we start getting into the behind the scenes footage. And so I wanted to pick up where they left off with that. And as far as if there ever was a 6 series of Star Wars cards, what would that look like? Now we've already went through, blue, red, yellow, green, and orange. So I think the next likely color would be purple. So I created these purple Series 6 what if kind of universe Star Wars cards. And since they kind of started off doing the behind the scenes, I thought what would be cool is if we showed, if we took some scenes that were cut from the film. So kind of those deleted scenes, or I don't even know if deleted scenes was a term back then in the 70s. And I wanted to make these. So I think they would have called them more like lost scenes or something like that. So here you can see the wax packs here. I got one done, new lost scenes, 6 series. And basically, if you can remember some of these cut scenes, like where Luke is talking to Biggs and everything. What's the back of those Star Wars cards? What's on the back? So some of them had puzzles, or the descriptions. I'll show you that. And then some had puzzles. The ones I'm doing just have the descriptions because I'm not making full sets. I don't want to get too carried away. I'm just making a pack with 9 cards just to show what it would look like. I'm not going to go crazy and make a whole set. But these are actual descriptions as to what's going on on the front of the cards. So we're going to start cutting out some cards. We're going to wrap them. I've got some other cool things. So another thing, I think they even featured this in the back here. Let's see. So here are the Wonder Bread cards. So these were exclusive cards. I don't know who did these. I don't know if Topps did these or not, but it might even say in here. But Wonder Bread did a promotion where they had Star Wars cards in there. And so what I did was I reproduced those. And I basically found the photos, and then I redid all the graphic design so it's nice and crisp and everything with the descriptions on the back. But I thought, what would be cool if they were actually in wax packs? So I've got a couple different series of those. So what if they were, and they had stickers and bubble gum and all that kind of stuff. So those are some of the Wonder Bread that I came up with. And what's not in the book was a series of, and I don't have a sample here. I've got the cards. They haven't been cut out, but these are unique. And these are the Burger King / Coca-Cola cards. And they were unique in that they came in like a strip. I don't have one. It's kind of off. I'll show you when we make them. But it was like a strip of 3 cards, and they are perforated in the center, and you tear them off. So I've got my little perforation tool here. So we're going to actually make some of those. And because they're kind of longer when they're untorn, I created these giant wax pack trading card, so for some of these long Burger King / Coca-Cola card. So you've got the classic Coca-Cola advertisement on the back. You got a series 1 and 2 of these. So that's what we're going to be creating today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out our cards. So, and I've got some stickers here and some of the wax packs. I forgot to get the wax, but I'll have to jump off camera when we're ready to apply the wax to our cards. I forgot that. I tried to get all my supplies out here and ready to go. Oh, here. So here you can see, I don't know if you can see, that's what they look like. There's a little perforation in between here, but we're going to create some of those. But this is what the Burger King Coca-Cola cards look like. So, and if anyone's interested, there are cards available on my website right now. I uploaded the ones I already made up there, and then I'll be bringing some of them with me to the event tomorrow at Free Comic Book Day. So let's start off with the Series 6 Star Wars cards right here, and we're going to cut these out. So I've got my little. So this is a mat for a Cricut machine. And I should have moved it up a little bit, but hopefully, let me see, I can switch to this angle too. So I've created these little notches. And the problem is, what I realized was once you start cutting these out, it just cuts right through this mat. So I've glued it to another mat on the bottom. And I guess I'll just keep doing that until eventually you get like a new mat. But this tends to, it's a little, it's the problem with cutting them on the Cricut machine, it just takes forever. So even though this is a little more manual labor, I decided to start doing some of the cards like this. And eventually I might want to get like a die where it actually can like press it and do it real quick, but I'm not quite ready for that yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to double check, get my glasses on here, and make sure that this is lined up. And once it gets lined up, I'll tape it down because it's starting to lose some of its stick. But it does have a little bit of a tackiness to it. So the idea is that your board isn't going to move when you do that. So so far it looks like it's lined up pretty good here. Let me make sure it's lined up good here. Now see, it's a little off here. No, maybe not. Just a little bit. Let's see if I can move it just a little bit here. It's better to kind of measure twice, cut once deal, because especially with the Cricut machine, I was losing so many of these cards. I had to trash them just because they weren't, they wouldn't line up properly, because even if it's off just a little bit, which, as I've mentioned before, is not uncommon with the trading cards. I mean, a lot of times they were a little off center, which is kind of the charm of them, I think. But I just, again, even though I've made all these crop marks and I have this little window here, it doesn't always line up right. So I think that's lined up pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is just put some tape down. So Edie, what are coup sports? I'm not. I see what you're saying, like pool and billiards. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they hadn't made them. I mean, I ordered some wax packs of some vintage cards from a dealer on eBay, and sometimes they'll just throw in random cards, and they threw in a random bowling card, a bowling like sports card. So I would not be surprised if they don't. Oh, what happened there? Hopefully that'll get cut off. We'll see. But they had like random like bowling cards inserted in this order that I had. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have like a billiard set with like popular billiards. I don't. What do you call them? Players or shooters? I don't know. I don't know what the term for a person who plays billiards is. You can let me know in the description. Okay. All right. So again, just you don't want to rush it too much. So I've got my X-Acto knife. I'm using an X-Acto knife and a metal ruler. And as I mentioned before, we want to use the metal ruler because a plastic ruler or a wooden ruler is the X-Acto knife can cut through it. So, and I put a little non-stick surface on the back of my ruler so it doesn't shift. Okay. Cut those through. Okay, so collectible cards from the 20th century exist, but not many are still in existence. Okay, hopefully we lose some of that little blemish on the end. Oh, what happened there? Something looks like it might have got wet or something. Ah, shoot. So I don't have any other ones printed out. So what happened? What I usually do when I mess up a set like this, something happens, I'll just cut out the rest of the cards. It must have got. I wonder if there's any water around here. Somehow it got messed up. But I'm gonna cut out this set anyway. So we may not wrap this particular one, but the cards that are good, I'll keep those, and then if I don't have a full set, I usually keep whatever ones are good, and then I'll, like when somebody places an order, I'll just put an extra, couple cards in there just to show them some different cards that I have. So that's kind of a bummer that this got ruined. I think I know what happened. So when I do my wax packs, I've got this tool here, and I found out that sometimes it heats up and sometimes it picks up some of the ink from the wax packs, and then when you apply it, it kind of smudges it. So what I started doing was I just got a wet paper towel and kind of wiped it off each time. So this must have been sitting on that wet paper towel. That's why it got messed up. But we'll see how many of these we can salvage, and then we'll move on to something else here. But luckily I already made some, so I'll show you kind of what the finished pack looks like. So let me know in the chat, how many of you have a local comic book store and are going to Free Comic Book Day? There's some really cool comics out there that I want to get. I mentioned this before, but I think the Johnny Quest is the one I'm looking forward to the most, because I love Johnny Quest. And I think that's one of those properties that, if done right, could make a really good movie, because it's totally that Indiana Jones type vibe. Or if you've seen like the Tintin movie that Steven Spielberg did, I mean, it's animated, but it's kind of that same adventure idea starring kids, which is, if you know, I mean, I write a comic book called Young and the Dead, so that one's damaged. So we're going to toss that, and we'll just keep whatever ones are good. This one's a little messed up here. This one's a little messed up. So we'll keep these ones, and we'll have these. I'll just save these that I can throw into some orders, like when people order them. So that's kind of a bummer that got ruined, but okay. So anyway, since we lost those and I don't have another set to cut out right here with me, I'll just again show you this is what the finished pack looks like. And then the stickers, I do have some of the stickers available. Oh no, you know what? I've got a set here I can that I already cut out. So I've got a set here that's good that I'll wrap later when we start wrapping our cards, and there's the sticker that goes with it. All right. So we'll keep those out there. So let's do one of the Burger King cards, because these ones are a little different. This is the Series 2. Let me find the Series 1. Let me find series 1 here. So Pepsi Cola says, thanks. That's awesome. Scott is a master of nostalgia musician. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, well, looks like I have 2 of the same set. I thought I had, that's weird. Okay, well, maybe we'll just do the one then. You try to prep all this stuff beforehand and then, anyway, so this is going to be the series 2 of the Burger King card, Burger King / Coca-Cola cards. Just going to set it down and we're going to see how accurate that is. Line everything up. It's a little crooked here, I think. It's fairly straight. Let's see if this is straight here. Yeah. Well, see, it moved. See, there's like no. I think I'm gonna have to do another board here because this thing is just, it's not sticking at all, which makes it a little more difficult. But let's see if this lines up here. I think that's lining up pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to tape this down. What's the music I'm listening to? So it's YouTube, and let me know if the volume on that is okay. I try to turn it down so it's just kind of in the background. But YouTube has a number of royalty-free music pieces that you can use in their music library, and this one is called. And it's the same stuff I use in my YouTube videos, but let me see. I'll find out what the name of this particular piece of music is called. It's called Disco Climax by On Joan, and I've got sometimes I've got some different music in there too. But let's see, it doesn't sound too disco-y, but that's what it's called. All right, let me go back to comments here. All right. So I'm gonna, let's see. I think I'm gonna get off my chair and stand up. So that's a little easier to do it that way. All right. So I'm gonna line this up. And this one is a little different, like I said, because they're going to be perforated edges. So I want to pay attention to what I'm doing because I don't want to cut right here because that's not where the cuts are going to be. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the horizontal lines out. Yeah, these were really fun when I kind of figured out how to do these. Okay, oh wow, that's a little crooked, but that's all right. I'm just going to eyeball this one a little bit. Okay, now I'll show you how we do this. So this is a little, and these come in different styles. I had another one that was a little like wider, like they were spread apart more, but I wanted this one to look more like the actual one. So all right, so we're gonna line that up there and then just line it up again on my ruler and just press down pretty hard. And what that does is it just perforates it so you can tear these off. I'll line that up. Okay, line it up, make sure it's on the ruler. I'm pressing down pretty hard. There we go. And now I'm going to cut these last two sides off. Looks like that's about right. All right, we'll just pull the edges off. And now we have our cards. So we'll put these together. We'll just put these over here for now. Now I created some stickers for these, which I'll cut out. Let's see. There's two different versions here. For each one comes up with two different versions. Now this artwork is, if you remember, because remember these are for the Burger King cards we're dealing with. Burger King, or in some places I think it was called Burger Chef, depending on if you're where in the country or maybe outside the country. I don't know if they're Burger King, or maybe they had even different restaurants outside of the US. I'm not sure. But depending on where you are in the country, where I live in the southwestern United States, it was Burger King, but there's also Burger Chef. And they had glasses like a drinking glasses that had this artwork or a variation of this artwork printed on it. And then they also had posters. So because those were tied with Burger King, I thought those would be cool stickers. So these are going to be, and each one of these big packs is going to contain 9 cards and 2 stickers. So let's tape this down. Here we go. I'm going to tape this down, and we'll just go ahead and, I think that's pretty close. We'll cut these stickers out. Now that seems really off. Why is it off so much? No, it's not off that much. I don't know. Let's see. All right. So these I'm gonna cut the borders out. I think my blade is getting, I think I'm gonna have to put a new blade in here. Oh yeah, I mean, these are the artwork on here is so cool with this orange and then the blue, and then the other two. Here's the other two. This is the Chewbacca one, and then the Luke Skywalker one. This poster art is just so amazing. And then they also had the Empire Strikes Back, and the illustrator on the Empire Strikes Back cards. I'm not familiar with this artist. I'm sure this artist is a super famous artist. I'm just not familiar with them. But the artist who did the Empire Strikes Back posters, I am familiar with, and that was Boris Vallejo. So who knows? Maybe I'll get around to making some Empire Strikes Back cards like this, Burger King cards. And they came out around the same time. So I don't think these cards came out with the original Star Wars. I think they came out when Empire came out. Now the glasses did. These posters did. These posters, I remember when Star Wars came out, getting these posters, and I remember having them on my wall. They were just so cool. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do right here is, let's see. This cut is going to be pretty light. Because all I'm doing is separating the poster from this other sticker with the logo. So I didn't cut all the way through. So when you get these packs, you'll have basically what amounts to 4 different stickers, 2 on a sheet. Boris didn't do these ones, but he did the ones from Empire Strikes Back. He did the posters from Empire Strikes Back, which they also used for the drinking glasses, and they had posters you could get. I'm gonna have to look up this artist again, because I guarantee you this is a super famous artist that I'm just not familiar with, but I am familiar with the posters. I mean, I just remember really loving the artwork. Still do. And I remember they had little descriptions on it, and one of the facts was wrong, and because I'm a Star Wars nerd, of course, I picked up on it. But it said on the Chewbacca one, it said that he was 100-year-old Wookiee, and actually, Chewbacca's like 200 years old. So they shaved the whole 100, which he probably liked. If it's anything like, if Wookiees are anything like humans, where they kind of are happy to be referred to as younger than they are. All right, so we got those stickers. We got some other ones, but now let's go with the first series here of. Oh, you know what? I think I know what happened. I think because I watched this, because usually with these, I think the reason why that other thing got ruined, I think there was still water on this, because you tend to wash these off with soap and water to get the stick to come back. But I think this one's pretty much done for, so I'm gonna have to make a new template, but I'm not going to do that now. So I'm going to do my best to, just tape it down. But let's see how accurate we are here. It's pretty close, I think. That looks pretty close. Now, as long as this part is close. That's a little off. No, it's not. That's good. Okay. All right. Now don't move, because I want to take you down there. Yeah. So Edie says the actor who played Chewbacca probably aged about 200 years in that heavy, hairy costume. Yeah, that would have been. That would have been a chore. But every interview I ever saw with Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, who passed away not too long ago, he just always seemed happy to play Chewbacca and that character. He just really, it's always seemed like he enjoyed it and didn't complain too much about it. All right, so now we're doing the Wonder Breads. I think this is the Series 1 Wonder Bread cards. And when the actual Wonder Breads came out, there wasn't like a series. There was it was just random cards. But since I usually put about 8 or 9 cards in a pack, I decided to separate them into 2 different series. So Susana Silva said, "Love Star Wars, but I got to go. Interesting channel. Bye." So yeah, hopefully you'll be back. I don't know if you already left, but I appreciate you stopping by. And to all the newcomers,
welcome, true believers and newcomers alike.
A little Stanley shout out for you. All right, let's see. Yeah, these photos are really good. It was really hard to find good quality versions of them for this, but I did the best I could, and I think they came out. The trick is photos, even if they're a little lower res, photos are a little more forgiving than text. That's why I recreated all the text in Illustrator, because if I was to try to, if I was just to scan an existing card, like if I try to scan a card from the back of this book, where is it? From this small little image and everything, it just wouldn't look very good. So I recreated all the text on everything. And then of course you have to find the correct fonts and. But I don't remember ever having any of these cards. I still have some of the original Burger King cards in my card collection. They're pretty beat up, but I still have some of them. But I don't think I ever had any of the Wonder Bread cards. And these Wonder Bread cards are pretty rare. So I did put on the back I put that they were reproductions, just because I don't want anyone to try to pass these off as the real deal. Plus, I'm pretty sure you could tell. if you're a, savvy card collector, you should be able to tell the difference just by the material and everything. I try to be as close as I can, but a lot of the originals had like they were just in the pack of bread, so they had kind of like bread stains on them, and so I think these would kind of be a dead giveaway if they're reproductions, but just to be safe, I made a note. And this little card here, where it says Wonder Bread, that's just an extra one because I needed an extra space, so that wasn't actually one of the cards. But when I wrap the wax pack, since they're semi-transparent, here I'll show you. I always, because it'll kind of show through, so I always like to put stickers in the beginning, because not all cards had stickers. But I started making all my cards have stickers just so I can flip them around and make it like white like that, so you don't see the actual image coming through. So that's just a little tip if you wanted to make some of these wax packs. So, all right, let's collect these. Oh, this one. All right, so we've kind of got a good example of the different cards we're doing. Like there's a couple different sets, but you kind of see me cut these out. So what do you say we start wrapping some of these cards? So let's remove this, and then I'm going to need some sheets of paper, because once we start applying the wax, I don't want to get wax all over everything. So I'm going to have to step up just for a second and just grab my wax. This is right off camera, so it'll just be a second. Okay. So what I'm using is just paraffin wax. You can use like a white unscented candle as well. Now, I've already printed these out on tracing paper. Now, the trick to this, and I've got other videos where I explain this, but I'll just, if anyone's not familiar, the tracing paper is too thin to go through a printer. Also, typically, you want to use a laser printer because the the ink will just kind of sit on it and it'll smudge, and you can maybe get away with it if you just print it out and just let it sit and wait a while. But it's easier to do it on a laser printer. So what I do is I get a sheet of just regular copy paper, and then I take I've got my big sheet, and I can put two of these on one sheet. Of tracing 8.5 by 11 tracing paper, and there's probably a link. I think I listed links to all of my materials in the description of the video, but I just take that 8.5 by 11 copy paper and I take a glue stick and just go around the edges, and I place the tracing paper on top of that. That way it makes it a little more stiff, and that way it'll run through the printer. And then once I'm done, I just cut everything out, and because I've only put the glue on the border, it just cuts right off once you cut these things off. So here, let's see. Let me find the first series here. All right, so the actual process for applying the wax is actually a little simpler than you'd think. Now, I don't know how they actually, the manufacturers actually do it, but the way I do it is this way, and I'm just gonna take my paraffin wax and just press down. And I'm going to do it on the front and the back. And that's, give it a good coat of wax from, different angles here. You got to do front and back because that's what's going to allow it to stick to itself once we apply the heat and once we start wrapping wrapping our wax packs. All right, so we got one, and I'm just going to go ahead and do all of these while we're, so they're ready. I won't wrap them all on this stream, but oops, see, that's another problem you try to avoid. Luckily, when you're pressing down, you can kind of, if you do crinkle it up, you can kind of straighten it out somewhat. But you want to kind of hold it as you're doing it so you don't, just trash it or crinkle the thing up, because it's so, it's so light. I appreciate all the kind words in the chat. Let me see if I can, I'm trying to do a couple different things at once, but let me go ahead and pull up some of these. Oh yeah, and this here too, I did notice I'm almost at 25,000 subs. So that's pretty cool. And the reason, I've had this channel for a long time. So the amount of views I typically get, because a lot of people joined a long time ago and they're no longer even paying attention to the videos. So let's see, where are we? I gotta find that. And I kind of switched the content where I was doing more comic stuff, and now I'm not. So maybe those people might not be interested in the new stuff I'm doing. Who knows? But and to be honest, I mean, I don't know that subs really matter as much nowadays. Because unless you're going to your actual subscription page and watching the people you subscribe to, YouTube is going to recommend whoever they want. They're not only going to recommend people you've subscribed to, and sometimes they don't recommend people. I've got people I've subscribed to that YouTube never recommends. I just have to go in and they have got a new video if I go under the subscription tab. So, but it is kind of cool. It still is cool that I'm almost at 25,000 subs. That's kind of a cool milestone. So, but it's just, like anything else, it's just going to take time. And the more people that discover this, and I've got to do my due diligence rather than just hoping that people are going to find it or that YouTube recommends me. And I've got to start reaching out to different communities that are into like nostalgia and kind of letting them know what I'm doing here, and then hopefully grow the channel that way. So if I used a hairdryer on the paper after I waxed it, I don't know. I'm not sure I don't know. It would maybe make because what you're doing, like when you seal it, you're using this heat tool, or you could use like a curling iron as well if you don't have one of those heat tools, or just a regular iron. But you want something that you can adjust the setting on, because you don't want a lot of heat, and we'll get to that once we start wrapping them. But I don't know as far as I don't know what the hairdryer would do other than maybe make the wax more, liquidy. But that's probably not what you want. So I don't know. That's an interesting question. And not everyone's watching these, and it's it's also a Friday, and people are probably getting ready for the weekend or just got off work in some cases. So it really depends. But I imagine there'll be people watching this after the fact, or if you are, because we're doing these basically to promote May the 4th, Star Wars Day. So maybe some of you guys are watching this on May the 4th, because as I'm recording it, it's May the 3rd. So I'm getting this stuff ready for my comic appearance tomorrow at Surprise Comics, which I'll be there with my, I'll bring a few of these wax packs, but I'll also have my comic book Young and the Dead, which I'm getting close to finishing up the final issue of. So all the previous 5 issues are available on my website, both in digital and physical form. But the final issue, I'm getting close to wrapping up. I'm about halfway through doing all because it's black and white, but it's got like grayscale, kind of like the old Ninja Turtles. So I'm just doing the grayscale, and I'm about halfway through with that. And then all that's left after that is the lettering, and also have to design the cover and some other design things to it. But it's getting closer, which is awesome because I've been working on that project for a very long time. So, almost as long as I've been doing this YouTube channel. All right. So now we're applying some wax to the unofficial Star Wars Series 6 cards. Once again, all these are all available on my website in limited quantities. I don't do a whole lot of them, just because you can see what's involved in them, making them. So, all right, are we ready? We're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go on to these big ones. So these are the big giant wax packs for the Burger King cards. So this is going to apply a little more. This is going to require a little more elbow grease. How's the weather out in Phoenix lately? It's warming up a little. It's not too bad, but it is summer and it's gonna start getting hot. But I'll try not to complain too much, because it actually stayed cool for way longer than it usually does. So, which hopefully doesn't mean that it's going to stay hot. Once it starts getting hot, then it's going to stay hotter. We'll see. But also, to be honest, I've pretty much been indoors for a while. I've got so many projects going on right now. I'm negotiating a new deal for a new comic book I'm going to be working on. That I'm going to do. It's probably going to be 3 separate stories, and then I've got in addition to writing the whole thing, drawing one of the stories, I'm hiring a team of artists to do the other 2 stories. So that's going to be pretty involved. But so there's that, and then just getting stuff ready for Comic Book Day, which I always have a blast doing that. And I'll be doing sketches and stuff, and I don't do like a lot of commissions other than what I am doing, like a store signing or something like that. So it's kind of the one opportunity that you'll be able to get a sketch for me. Like, as far as, I've got a lot of sketches just sitting in my drawer that I just did for fun that maybe someday I'll put up on my website. People are interested, but I don't know. It's a lot to put a single item up on a website, but because when you put like a wax pack on, once you sell one or a print, you still have more. So but if you're doing an individual like pieces, even though those pieces would be more money because they're originals, and it's even easier to do digital products because you don't have to do any, ship or anything. Not that I am not happy when people order like physical stuff, because that's kind of what this channel is all about, is creating, physical, tangible media. Because in the age of AI, I think, I thought that was going to wreck it, but it didn't. In the age of AI, I think the best thing for artists to do is to show their work, show their process, so people can see it's a little more of a craftsmanship behind it. People can see you actually making it, and that it's not just something that could be easily done by AI. So physical goods, I think, are probably our best bet. There's other ways, to either, fight AI or use it to your advantage or whatever. But these were all drawn, either taken from existing media, or like this stuff, some of it I just kind of traced based on the original design or whatever, but I wanted this particular look to look like that. But like, I actually have a series that I'm working on that's going to be a full series of cards. It's all my original designs. And also, because I like doing these fan art things, but I also, I've got my own ideas and things. So I put out one set of my gross food cards, and I think I'm going to rebrand those to something else. I think maybe like Gruesome Gourmet, and make a number of different packs of those. And then I have another series of cards that I want to do a full set with a box and everything too. So around 20 degrees Celsius ish Fahrenheit here in Ottawa tomorrow. So I thought, okay, so you're okay. So is it cyanoid? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Maybe you can write it phonetically in the chat just so I know how to shout you out properly. But you're in Ottawa. Okay. So we've got that's the great thing about the internet is that you've got people from all over the globe that can you can communicate with, like this comic book project that I'm working on. The client is actually in Dubai, so I mean I've got stuff going on with people all over the globe, which is kind of cool. So all right, so we've got all these waxed up, and now we can start wrapping some of these. So let's move some stuff around here. And you know what, now would be a good time to switch this over, and I'm gonna, in my other camera, I'm gonna switch this battery out because my overhead camera the battery only lasts so long. So while you're looking at a blank table here, I'm gonna switch this out. All right, and then we'll get started one more time. Let's see. All right. Let's see if it's not yet. It should pop up and just usually takes a couple seconds. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's see here. Looks like we got Heather Hunter in the chat. Oh, in Montreal. So we got a few Canadians in there. Yeah, yesterday we had a Canadian artist on the Artcasters, Christopher Runsman, who, hold on a second, my headphones are tangled up on my chair. So my buddy Christopher Runsman, he does a daily comic by request over on his YouTube channel. So he takes just weird requests and like you throw out whatever different topics or whatever, and he'll make a comic book right there on his live stream. Really cool stuff. So he's got a new book out. So he was on the Artcasters. So that just aired yesterday. So you could definitely check that out. But he's a Canadian artist as well. So like I said, people from all over. And it's interesting this in the same way that we've got, like fellow Canadians in the chat, but like I'm always it's always funny to discover how many people are actually in Arizona where I'm from. Like, oh, I'm in Arizona. So if you are, like I said, if you are in Arizona, definitely come out to Surprise Comics and come and meet me tomorrow for Free Comic Book Day. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring out this little tool. I'm going to heat it up. Let me see. It's got a little adjustment here, but it doesn't, you don't want to go too hot with it. I'd go on like the lowest temperature. So what are we going to do first? Let's start with the Series 6 Star Wars cards. All right. So here we've got our pack, and we got to get our gum out. Now I've already pre-cut out all our gum, and what I do for the gum is it's bubble tape. So I just cut lengths of it off the size of a basic piece of gum. Now there are a couple different sizes that most of the size, they weren't this big, but they were kind of a little wider. See how this is a little thinner? Like this is enlarged. So they weren't the gum wasn't that big, but some were exactly about this size. Let me see. This is actually, I saved this one. Here's a vintage piece of like 30, 40-year-old gum. But you can see it's the same size. But they weren't all this size. But this was from a pack of Jaws 3D trading cards. So anyway, so I'm using the bubble tape for that. And what I'm going to do... Now, the thing about gum is it usually would damage some of the cards. So I'm going to kind of flip this around, and I'm going to put the gum here. It probably might damage it a little bit, but it's a difference between keeping things authentic and, because you can wrap the gum or whatever, but that's not the way they were done. So I'm a little more in the idea of keeping it authentic, and even if it does damage the card, and rather than having it damage the photo, maybe just damage the, put a little residue on the back of the card, which you could probably still read and everything, depending on how long you keep this gum in before you open it. Oh, that's right. Let's see. Let's do that. Maybe something like that. And then we'll turn that around there. All right. And then we'll put this. What is this? Oh, I got 2 stickers on there. We don't want 2 stickers. Okay. So I'm going to line it up. And the good thing about it being semi-transparent is I can kind of see where the image area is. And I'll just do that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold. I always do the top and bottom first. And I'm going to put a crease here. And then you kind of angle it a little bit. It's kind of like wrapping a Christmas present. You angle it a little bit, and then I'm going to press down in that corner. See, like that? Same thing here. Kind of angle it down a little bit. Press down in the corner. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Flip it up. Crease it a little bit. Fold it over. Angle it. Fold it over. Push that in. All right. So now I'm going to fold the left side. And this just kind of, whatever side here, I think I usually fold the left side over. And some of them have UPC codes. And if it has a UPC code, then you want to make sure that shows, because it would need to show to scan. These ones don't. So there we go. And now we're going to seal it with our heat gun. We're just going to run that across here and then press down on it. Because like I said, I don't have the heat on too much, just enough to get the wax a little. That's why when Edie, when you were talking about the hair dryer, it's kind of the same principle, but you probably don't want it all tacky when you're like, putting this together. And again, I'm just going to take, after each application, I'm going to take this little thing here, and I'm going to do this off screen because now this part is probably wet and I don't want to damage my card, but I just wanted to show you that. That's what I'm doing to kind of clean some of the ink off the top. And because it is hot, the rest of the water will just evaporate fairly quickly. All right, so we got that one. We got one of our Star Wars Series 6 cards. Let's do one of these big giant ones. Let's see. So we've got, here we got, let's see. This, I think, is a Series 1. Is it? No, I'm kind of, oh, wait, I don't think that goes with that. Yeah, okay. So these are our Series 2 Burger King cards. So we'll get our Series 2 wrapper. And we'll find our Series 2 stickers. Where are those at? Where did I put those? I don't know where I put those. Hold on. Where did I put those? Yeah, here. So I think these are the Series 2. So the way, since the front cover of the second series has the Chewbacca image, I didn't want to put that same image in this one, just so you can kind of get a different variety. So I used these 2 stickers. So here we go. We're going to put that here. We've got our stickers. So I'm going to flip that over there. So we've got our white side on both the front and the back. And then I'm going to flip this around, and we're going to put our gum in between here again, so we don't damage the front of the cards. And so with this one, I've got a big stick of bubble gum because they're bigger cards. So we've got a big long stick of bubble gum, and we'll put those together, stack those up. And I just because this is different, I haven't seen anything like this. The other thing I'd like to do, it would be cool to do a set of oversized cards, like photo size cards, but I'd have to figure out I'd have to be able to print a big giant wax wrapper, but it'd just be cool to have like a big giant wax pack. I might do something like that just as a novelty. Although I don't know if I'd sell them because I'd have to charge so much because when you think about it, like when I cut these cards out, this is one sheet. If I'm making each one of these the size of a card, you're multiplying what the cost is so much. You're multiplying that by like 9 of these. So, and a big giant sticker. So I'd probably have to charge a lot. So I don't know but I might just do one for fun. I don't know. All right, so let's see. All right, so I think that's lined up pretty good. So again, we're going to start with the top. It's the same principle. It's kind of longer. We're going to go here to here, and we're going to press down. Kind of angle. We're going to angle it. Let's see that one. Do that there. Okay. Same thing on the bottom. We're going to fold that up, crease it here a little bit. Fold it over. Okay, so the nub for there's a place for this thing, assuming they still have them because they said they had limited quantities. There's a company called Wax Pack. I think it's just called Wax Pack Wrappers, and they sell this little adapter for this thing. And that's where I picked one up. Now they do have wax packs that you can print, but they're only wax on like one side. So I wasn't really crazy about because I ordered some samples. I wasn't crazy about the wax and I can understand why, because you can't really print on wax. I mean, so I think the samples I got, they were a little too thick, and they were kind of only wax on one side, so you could print on the other side. But that's why I apply the wax after I print them. So there wouldn't be a way I could sell like wax paper, because you can't, to my knowledge, I don't know how you run it through how you get ink to stick to it. So I don't know if I can necessarily recommend the wax wrappers they have, but as far as that little tool, this thing here, if you got, I think it's just waxpackwrappers.com, or just search Wax Pack Wrappers and you'll probably find it. And assuming they still have some of those tools, because they said they only had limited quantities of them. And I don't know what they're actually for normally, because I'm pretty sure they're not normally made for wrapping people wax packages. All right. I guess I could put that as a tool in the description. It just, like I said, they said they only have limited amounts, so if they run out, I don't want all my videos to have a link to something where it doesn't go to anything. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to run this across here, and then I'm going to press down on it. The heat will make it wet, but then you got to apply pressure. There you go. And then I'm going to wash it off screen. So there you go. All right, let's unveil these. Look at that. It's so cool. It's just so bizarre because it's so different, You would never see a wax pack. I've never seen a wax pack this size, but it's kind of cool. All right, so what haven't we done? We didn't do a Wonder Bread, did we? Or did we? I don't remember. But let's see. This is Series 1 Wonder Bread. All right. So let's wrap one of these here. All right. We'll get our. Now, do we have a sticker? This should be a sticker. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, did I? I hope I didn't. I don't think I wrapped one of those yet. All right, let's see. What trading card 1. So here's the stickers I made for the Wonder Bread. And if you can't recognize that shape, it is the little bread tags that you put over the bread to keep it fresh, to wrap it. So I made the shape of the bread tag, and then I added the Chewbacca, which this first set has all the main characters up until Chewbacca. So I'm like, oh, people are gonna be bummed because they got all the main characters except Chewbacca. So that's why I put him on the sticker. All right, so we got. Oh, maybe I'll just let's see. Do that. And then, I don't know. How do I want to do this? I guess I'll flip that around. So we'll do that, and then we'll get our gum. Place our gum down there. Flip our sticker over so it's white. It'll be white in front and back, because this pack, especially this pack, because it's mostly white. That's why we want to do the white on both sides there. Now let's see. We can want to line this up. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll fold this over. We'll do our crease here. Do that. Yeah, Edie. I mean, you say every time I make cards, you want to make your own. Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do this. I mean, why not? That's why I show you my process. So, again, if you do ever make any, share them, and I'll share them with other people, because I really want to get a community going of people making cool stuff, whether it's wax packs, whether it's anything like that. So, but I've seen a lot of, there's a lot of channels where people submit fan art, which is cool. But again, this is taking it to a different level. But as far as the scope of the projects, but it's still fun. And there's a lot of maker channels out there where people are, like, I watch a channel called The Smuggler's Room, where they do like Star Wars builds, like more like props and things like that, based on Star Wars. And they've got a whole community of other people doing like Star Wars props. And of course, what I'm doing is of course, I'm tying into Star Wars with some of the content as far as like what I'm doing here. But the idea of like people making their own wax packs, I don't know if there's as many people interested in that as there are making Star Wars props. All right, I want to do, assuming I have, I think I have some more of those cards. Let me see if I have any more of these cards here. I thought I did. I'd like to do another. I don't know if I do. I don't know if I have. I have some that I haven't cut out yet. So I guess I don't have any already cut. So, and this, as far as the Star Wars cards go, this is another one that you may have seen me create on this channel. Oh yeah, so Edie watches the channel. Okay, the Smuggler's Room. Yeah, he just got his teeth fixed. He had some, because he said it wasn't cosmetic, but it definitely. I mean, I think he might have had some other issues with his teeth or whatever. But yeah, it's like it's amazing what a smile, and I probably could do the same thing. I mean, like, I definitely could have my teeth whitened. Every time I watch my videos, I'm like, my teeth could be a little whiter. I wish they weren't yellow. Even though I brush my teeth every day, but sometimes that doesn't do it. So, but anyway, so here's the this is the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I also have available on our website. So that's another one. So I'm just trying to come up with all, and maybe I'll do like the Ewok Adventures or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I think I've done with these new ones. I think I've done plenty of Star Wars stuff. There's other ones that I want to do. So, all right, what do I want to do? I want to wrap one more. Let's see what else. I guess we did a series 1 Wonder Bread. Let's do a series 2 Wonder Bread, and then after that we'll probably wrap things up, because I'm gonna eat dinner and everything. Okay, so here, let me get my sticker. So the sticker for the series. So like I said, the first card in the series 2 Wonder Bread is Chewbacca, which starts at card 9, because there's 8 cards in the pack, plus this little other card that I have. Oh, I already have a sticker here. All right. So and I put Darth Vader on this one. So the series 2 sticker you get. And one thing, if you're not familiar with the way I do these packs, again, they're not full sets. So if you buy a pack, you get all the cards there are, unless there's something that indicates, like with the Wonder Bread, with these where there's a series 1 and series 2, which there's only 8 cards in each series, plus a little bonus card that really is just there for, to make it so you don't see through the package. But unless it indicates that there's a series 1 or 2, these are all in series 1. It's all going to be always the same. You won't get, if you pick up 2 series 1 packs expecting to get different cards, you won't. They're all the same. I'm not making full sets. These are just kind of wishful thinking. Like, oh, what if they made these? Or What if they put the Wonder Bread cards, which never came in a wax pack with a sticker? So that's kind of the whole idea behind these. So, all right, so we got our set here. So let me see if I can find a label for the Series 2. Yeah. So, and these are very similar. So this is another thing that I found, and I'm always looking to see, because I want these to look as authentic as possible. So the artwork for the Wonder Bread cards, let me see if it has any images here. Yeah, so you can see this illustration. So even though they never put these in packs, I used the same illustration, and I kind of had to recreate a little bit because this one's got a little more shading, whereas wax packs were like solid colors, or they had like, the little printing dots or whatever. So I'm like, well, okay, so I want to make a second pack, but what do I use? Because this is the only illustration they use other than the X-Wing fighter, which I guess I could have put the X-Wing fighter, but and then I also added a little ad for Wonder Bread on the back. But so I'm like, like what should I put on the other cards? And then I discovered this. And I'm always trying to do research because I want these to be as authentic as possible, whether it means, using the artwork, the other Burger King poster artwork for the covers and for the stickers as the Burger King trading cards, or in this case, let me see if I can find. Yeah, I found this illustration, and look, if you look here, see see Luke Skywalker, C-3PO, and R2-D2 right here. Other than Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, which kind of comes over, it's the same illustration that they use for the Wonder Bread. So I'm like, so I'm just going to take part of this illustration here with Obi-Wan, the Jawa, and Han from by the same artist. And then that's what I use for this. So I'm always trying to pay attention to stuff like that. So again, trying to keep it as close to what you would have got as possible. So here's we'll wrap the second series here. So we're going to get our stick of bubble gum. Well, you say genius, but really some of it was just a matter of luck, because of finding that illustration and noticing, like, oh, that's the same illustration. And apparently it's fairly rare, because it says, what does it say here? It said something about it. This rare pack was sold. So this was kind of a start. This rare pack was sold at the Odd Lot Closeout in Massapequa. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Edie, you could probably tell me because it's in New York. It sounds like an Indian name. Massapequa, New York, in the fall of 1977, attached with 3 cellophane pockets containing. Oh, so this would have been like a hanging card. That would have been the hang tag, and then underneath it would have had Star Wars cards underneath it. But yeah, and they mentioned how the Star Wars logo is different. You see how I'm a design nerd, so I pay attention to stuff. But if you look, the W, see how it's different than this W? See how the angles come down here as a point rather than squared off like that? So just a slightly different version of the logo as well. So they call that out. So that, I don't know. Maybe that's getting too nerdy, but that's stuff I'm interested in. So, all right. So here we go. Let's see. I'll flip this over a little bit so we don't ruin that picture here. Oh, wait. Again, I think hold on. Let me see. Make sure this is the right card. Okay, yeah. All right. So here we go. We're going to line this up. Okay, so Bobby Digby is new. Let's just welcome you. We'll get a little shout out from Stanley here.
Welcome, true believers and newcomers alike.
Hopefully that came across. I don't have my headphones on, so I can't hear the sound effects. Hopefully that worked. But yeah, welcome to the channel. What we're doing here is we're making some Star Wars trading cards. We're actually kind of wrapping up, but there will be a replay, and you can rewatch some of that. And from time to time, I'll be doing these, but we're making sort of Star Wars cards that never existed, or some of them did exist, but in kind of a different format. So right now we're doing the Wonder Bread trading cards that came in packs of Wonder Bread, but we're doing them as wax packs. So right now we're going to wrap one here. This is the series 2 or series 1, and this is a series 2 that I'm wrapping up. And then so we're just going to crease this here. And we got Doppelganger 45. Welcome. Let me give another shout out here.
Welcome,
I probably can't do this
true believers and newcomers alike.
But it's nice to see some new faces here. So, all right. And we'll fold this over here. And if you weren't paying attention before, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of angling this fold a little bit, putting some pressure, and then just kind of pushing that in there in the corner so we can fold it over. All right. So we got that, and then I'm going to take the left side and fold it over. Now, the trick is you got to kind of hold it together while you're doing it. So you've got to trying to get it in place and hold it down while I pull this other one. And it does take some practice getting used to, but once you do it enough, it gets fairly easy. All right, now I'm just going to run this hot tool over here. Oh, well, for some reason that didn't work. Okay. Now I'm pressing down. So what this does is this just heats up the wax, and then I'm going to press down to seal it. There we go. All right. Okay, so here we go. There we go. We got, here's some of the cards we created. We've got our Wonder Bread Series 1 and 2. We've got our What If unofficial Series 6 Star Wars cards featuring cutscenes from the movie. Here's what some of them look like. Kind of a purple set. If you looked at some of the old cards, they went blue, red, yellow, green, and then orange. And then I made this set purple, and they're pretty authentic looking. I've got similar paper and everything, but these are just all cut scenes from Star Wars, scenes that they cut from the original theatrical release, or like the one with the where is it? Him talking to Jabba before they did the CGI version of Jabba, where he was just an actor in a furry costume. So that's the unofficial Series 6 Star Wars card set. These I didn't do any on this stream, but this is the holiday special pack, the scenes from the holiday special. And then we've got our 2 Burger King, and these are a lot bigger. We've got our Star Wars Burger King / Coca-Cola with the Coca-Cola ad in the back. Giant trading cards with and they kind of look like this, and these are based on the original Burger King / Coca-Cola trading cards. And there was also an Empire Strikes Back set, which I may get around to doing that. But just getting all this stuff ready, like I said, getting all this stuff ready for Free Comic Book Day tomorrow. So I'm gonna probably off camera, I'll do a few more of these, but I'm gonna also eat dinner and everything. But yeah, so like one more time, I will be, if you happen to be in Arizona and you want to stop by, I'm on kind of Surprises Corner, kind of the west of Phoenix. It's a little bit of a drive for some people, but it's going to be a good time. All kinds of awesome free comic books at the store. I'll be there doing signing my comics, doing sketches, and I'll bring some of these crazy wax packs to celebrate not only Free Comic Book Day, but also Star Wars Day. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I appreciate all the comments, and I just have a blast doing this. And rather than just doing these by myself, it's awesome to turn on the camera, talk to you guys, and hopefully get you involved. I do appreciate my one patron, my anonymous patron, for submitting those awesome fan-made Simpsons candy cigarettes, the designs, which he generously made available to all of you. Those are in the description of this video. I may send those out in the newsletter too. But but you can click on those. You can, do what you want. Of course, like all the stuff that we're doing today, they're, these are fan projects. I mean, we don't own Star Wars or Burger King or Simpsons, but it's kind of just for fun. So do with them, knowing that there are some limitations to what you can do. But anyway, like I said, and having said that, I mean, I do make limited quantities of these. I mean, I'm not like a big operation or anything. I do make limited quantities of these on my website. If you're curious, you want to pick some of those up, those are available, along with a bunch of other cards, things that, cards that they should have made that they never did, that we wish they did. Just check out my website for those, as well as prints, and I've got digital products, all kinds of cool stuff. Definitely check that out on my website at circworks.com, and join the mailing list, because every month I give templates, kind of like, like the one that was graciously made available to you guys with the Simpsons cards. I make my own. Whenever I do a video where I'm making one of these projects, I offer the templates, not necessarily the live stream, like not for this stuff, but whenever I do a put together production video, I always make those projects, whether it's the Alien Underoos, whether it's the monster cereals, all that kind of stuff. I offer those templates. I offer different versions, whether it's to patrons, whether it's on my newsletter. But you're always getting, because sometimes people join, because when you join the mailing list, you get the Comic Maker Starter Kit, which has a bunch of digital brushes and templates and tools and things like that you can use for your creative projects, comics, whatever. Some people just join the mailing list, and then they bounce right away because they want to get the free thing. But what they don't know is, if you stick with it, you're going to get every month you're going to get free stuff. Because every newsletter I put out there, I've got a link to some kind of template or something like that. So get on the newsletter, pay attention, and get involved. Make some projects and share them with me. Scott@circworks.com, or Scott at circworks.com. That's my email. That's the best way to contact me. I do respond to comments on YouTube, but it's a little hard to carry on a conversation because I only get alerted to when somebody first comments on YouTube. I don't get the whole thread, and I'm not really on a lot of social. I mean, I'm on other social media like Instagram and stuff, but I don't really check in too often. So if you're leaving me DMs on Instagram, chances are I might not see it. The best way to reach out to me is just my email, circworks.com. Or if you just have a comment, I do check all my comments on YouTube, so leave a comment. But yeah, get involved, make cool stuff, and share it with me, and I'll try to share it with my audience and everything. So really appreciate everyone. If you happen to be in the area, make it out to Surprise Comics. I thought there was one other thing I was going to say. What was it? Again, thanks to the chat. Oh, I know what it is. May the 4th be with you.